Genesis 27 is a key chapter in the book of Genesis that narrates the story of how Jacob, with the help of his mother Rebekah, deceives his father Isaac to receive the blessing intended for his brother Esau. Here's a summary. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video. Genesis 27 narrates one of the most pivotal events in the life of the patriarchs, Jacob's deception of his father, Isaac, to steal the blessing meant for his brother Esau. This chapter is full of dramatic tension and emotional intensity as it deals with themes of favoritism, deceit, family conflict, and the irrevocable power of spoken blessings. Setting the stage. As the chapter opens, Isaac, the son of Abraham and the father of Esau and Jacob, is now old, frail, and nearly blind. Genesis 27 verse 1 says, "When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his older son and said to him, 'My son,' and he answered, 'Here I am.'" Isaac's blindness is symbolic of more than just his physical condition. It foreshadows his inability to see the deeper dynamics at play within his family. He cannot see through the deception that is about to unfold. Isaac, believing that he is nearing the end of his life, though he would live for many more years, decides that it is time to bless his eldest son Esau in accordance with the customs of the time. Esau, the firstborn, is the natural heir to his father's blessing, which includes not only material prosperity but also the spiritual inheritance of the covenant that God made with Abraham. Isaac's blessing is of great significance because it confers leadership of the family and a special relationship with God, a continuation of the divine promise to make Abraham's descendants into a great nation. However, Isaac's desire to bless Esau is problematic. Earlier in the narrative, in Genesis 25 verse 23, God had revealed to Rebekah, Isaac's wife, that the older will serve the younger, indicating that Jacob, not Esau, was chosen by God to be the heir of the covenant promise. Nevertheless, Isaac favors Esau because Esau is a skilled hunter, a man of the field, and Isaac enjoys the food that Esau brings him. Rebekah, on the other hand, favors Jacob, the quieter, more domestic son. This favoritism sets the stage for the conflict that follows. The blessing preparation. Isaac instructs Esau to go out into the field, hunt game, and prepare a savory meal for him. Once Isaac has eaten, he will give Esau the blessing. Genesis 27 verses 3 to 4 records Isaac's words, "Now then, take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food, such as I love, and bring it to me so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." Unbeknownst to Isaac, Rebekah overhears this conversation. Rebekah is determined to ensure that Jacob, not Esau, receives the blessing. She quickly devises a plan to deceive Isaac. In verse 8, she tells Jacob, "Now therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock and bring me 2 good young goats, so that I may prepare from them delicious food for your father, such as he loves." Rebekah's involvement in this deception is critical. She takes the initiative to ensure that God's earlier revelation that Jacob would be the one to inherit the blessing comes to pass. However, her methods are questionable, involving deceit and manipulation. This raises ethical questions about whether it is right to use dishonest means to achieve a divinely ordained end. Jacob's hesitation and compliance. Initially, Jacob hesitates. He is not concerned about the morality of deceiving his father but rather about the practical consequences, if the deception is discovered. Jacob is aware that his father may feel the difference between him and Esau, for Esau is a hairy man, while Jacob's skin is smooth. If Isaac realizes the deception, Jacob fears he will be cursed instead of blessed. In Genesis 27 verse 12, Jacob says, "Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him and bring a curse upon myself and not a blessing." Rebekah reassures him, saying, "Let your curse be on me, my son, only obey my voice, and go, bring them to me." Verse 13. Jacob complies with his mother's plan, and Rebekah prepares the food. She also takes Esau's best garments and puts them on Jacob, and covers Jacob's hands and neck with the skins of the goats to mimic Esau's hairy body. The deception is meticulous and deliberate. Rebekah's actions demonstrate her resourcefulness and determination, but they also show a lack of faith in God's ability to fulfill his promises without human intervention. Both Rebekah and Jacob seem to believe that they must resort to trickery in order to secure the blessing, despite the fact that God had already promised it to Jacob. Jacob deceives Isaac. Jacob then goes to Isaac, bringing the meal his mother prepared. In verse 18, he says, "My father," to which Isaac replies, "Who are you, my son?" This question introduces the central conflict of the chapter, identity. Jacob must now maintain the pretense of being Esau in order to receive the blessing. Jacob lies directly to his father. In verse 19, he says, "I am Esau your firstborn. I have done as you told me, now sit up and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me." Isaac is initially suspicious. He questions how Esau could have returned so quickly from the hunt. Jacob again lies, invoking God's name to cover his deceit, "Because the Lord your God granted me success." Verse 20. Isaac's suspicions continue, and he asks Jacob to come closer so that he can feel him. Although Isaac hears Jacob's voice, when he touches Jacob's hands, which are covered with goatskins, he feels the hair and believes it is Esau. In verse 24, Isaac asks one final time, "Are you really my son Esau?" Jacob responds, "I am." After this final reassurance, Isaac eats the meal, drinks wine, and then proceeds to bless Jacob, believing him to be Esau. The blessing that Isaac bestows on Jacob is rich and comprehensive. In verses 27 to 29, Isaac says, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." This blessing contains both material prosperity, the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine, and political dominion. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. Most significantly, Isaac blesses Jacob with lordship over his brothers, echoing God's earlier promise that the older will serve the younger. The blessing also includes the covenantal language of divine protection and favor. "Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." This echoes the promise God made to Abraham in Genesis 12 verse 3. Esau's return and anguish. Immediately after Jacob leaves his father's presence, Esau returns from hunting. He prepares the meal and brings it to Isaac, saying, "Let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that you may bless me." Verse 31. Isaac, confused, asks, "Who are you?" When Esau identifies himself, Isaac trembles violently. In verse 33, Isaac says, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me, and I ate it all before you came, and I have blessed him? Yes, and he shall be blessed." Isaac's realization that he has been deceived and that the blessing has been irrevocably given to Jacob is one of the most dramatic moments in the chapter. Despite the deception, Isaac does not attempt to revoke the blessing, recognizing that it has been divinely ordained. This underscores the seriousness and finality of the spoken blessing in the ancient Near Eastern context. Once a blessing was given, it could not be taken back. Esau's reaction is one of bitter anguish. He cries out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and pleads with his father, "Bless me, even me also, O my father." Verse 34. However, Isaac tells him that Jacob has taken his blessing, and there is little left for Esau. In verses 37 to 38, Isaac says, "Behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers I have given to him for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?" Esau weeps and pleads for any blessing that might remain. Isaac does give Esau a secondary blessing, but it is far less favorable than the one given to Jacob. In verses 39 to 40, Isaac says, "Behold, away from the fatness of the earth shall your dwelling be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother, but when you grow restless you shall break his yoke from your neck." This prophecy predicts a life of struggle for Esau and his descendants. Though Esau will live by the sword and serve. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.